Last one for the year. You know I'm talking about the new Nikon lens and some other stuff. Real quick this week, come hang out, let's go. What's going on, everyone? Seth Miranda here. This is Adorama Rewind, and it is the last rewind for the year, like I said before, but it's also going to be going bi-weekly. So I'll be back January 9th, and these will be coming out every other Sunday, opposite of David Bergman's show, Ask David Bergman. If you haven't watched that one, check it out. He answers all your questions, basically. Very in-depth and some topics that you don't usually hear too much about. So check that one out, and stay tuned to the channel, because 2022 looks like there's gonna be a lot of new stuff hitting the channel, a lot of things shaking up, scheduling changes, and just new blood coming into the channel. And this channel is over 10 years old. We're at over 1 million subscribers, so thank you all for sticking with us, and I'm really excited for what's going to happen the coming year, which is in like a couple weeks. But let me get right into this, because Nikon dropped an announcement about 2 lenses, and I didn't get a chance to talk about it. You know I'm going to. And I saw the comment threads and all the stuff that was being talked about when the announcement was made, and I had to jump in on it. So let's go right over to the Nikon 28-75mm f2.8 for the Z mount. There's a bunch to unpack here. First of all the comments were either totally confused or angry. And they were like, well, I don't get it. There's a 24-70 f4 and there's a 24-70 2.8 already. Why do we need a 28-75 2.8? And by the way, that's how you guys sound when I don't like what you wrote in the comments. This is actually pretty smart. Let me explain. Stick with me on all of this. It's going to be a lot. The 20-75 shifts over the focal range, but it also allows them to do a 2.8 at a smaller form factor, smaller, lighter, and half the price basically of the 24-70 2.8 option. And if you didn't want to go for the f4 option, you have a 2.8 now. This means you have basically the beginning of a lower cost 2.8. Maybe we'll see a trinity, right? Maybe we'll see 3 lenses that all are 2.8 at a lower or half the price of the premium 2.8. This isn't an S-line lens, which is what Nikon is calling their higher end lenses for the Z mount. So that means there's probably some coatings that aren't on there and stuff like that, but it's looking pretty strong, and you're saving a lot of money. And I can even see this being a lens for like a Z5 kit that they want to keep premium, or a Z6 original kit, or Z6 II maybe. If you wanted 2.8 lens option, you can put it in that kit. Now, the real thing that's happening here, and the thing that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, is that this is Nikon getting the audience base that they already have before they go and purchase third-party lenses. So let's say they have a lot of people that were waiting for Sigma, Tamron, and other companies to get the Z mount, and not just the physical flange, but the protocol, so it talks to the camera correctly, so that it actually interacts and performs perfectly like a native lens. This is Nikon basically going, hey, here's our version of that. So maybe when the other companies get the mount, they will be a little bit cheaper. There is an E-mount version of this that's like a couple $100 cheaper than what's going on right now for $1,200. I think the E-mount is around like $800-900. But if you have an option for just a couple $100 more to stay native, some people might prefer that, and Nikon's actually taking advantage of that. This is a 100-year-old company that has the chance to start from scratch with a 3-year-old system, and they're taking full advantage of it. I wouldn't be surprised if Canon doesn't follow suit, and we start seeing these companies start making the lenses that other companies would have made for their own system, and they keep their own user base in their brand. Now, here's where I'm probably gonna get people a little, Sony started out the E-mount and they didn't have a lot of glass in the beginning, and that was one of the issues, but they didn't care. They were like, hey, use our body and put whatever glass you want on. Use adapters, use third-party lenses. We don't care. Just use the Sony ultramarine mirrorless bodies, and whatever glass you're choosing to put on it, put on there. And a lot of people ended up buying, you know, third-party brands, and they stuck with them. And then when Sony starts putting out their version of those lenses, it's kind of hard to sell that lens to someone who already kind of owns that lens and is happy with it, because Sigma, Tamron, all these other companies, they're good brands. Nikon, and possibly even Canon, if they start doing this, could give them a choice to stay in their brand system first-party native glass. That's pretty interesting. So I don't know when we're going to see third-party glass that's actually autofocus, has proper protocols and stuff, because there is some lenses out there for the Z and RF mount, but they're basically like just the hard flange. They're just manual focus lenses. They're not really doing the autofocus performance and stuff like that. So, you know, I think this is super interesting for where we are in this industry, where we don't have a mount that's 3 decades old. We have a brand new mount here for Nikon and another mount for Canon with long-term legacy users that want more options, and that's all this is giving us. The people that think this is going to be taking resources away from manufacturing of the lenses, I don't see that happening, especially since, sorry, my leg keeps falling asleep, it's killing me. Especially since we just saw Nikon release the 24-120, and they actually are shipping a good amount of them. They are able to produce these lenses. Maybe the mid to lower tier lenses they're able to produce easier and faster. And 28-75 is a pretty nice focal length to have. That's an all-around lens at 2.8 for half the price. How could you not be happy that exists, right? So I'm, for one, curious, will Nikon do a 2.8 Trinity, like a lower tier Trinity, maybe a mid-range, we'll call it. Will Canon follow suit? I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. I had to get that off my chest because I don't get to do these until like the end of the week and everybody already talks about them. On top of the 28-75 announcement, they announced this, the 800mm f6.3 VRS Super Telephoto. This is a PF lens. What does that mean? Well, PF means phase Fresnel, and Nikon has done this before with the 500 and I think the 300 as well. It is a considerably smaller and lighter weight lens than previous versions of the same focal length. That means an 800mm that's actually portable, that yeah, it's a monster lens, but it's not a mega monster. That's a pretty big deal. I don't know what this is going to cost. It is pretty nice to see Nikon paying attention to the longer range glass now. They have the Z9 coming. We have the 400 f2.8 with their 1.4 teleconverter built in also on the way. And Nikon just seems to be full of surprises. A lot of these lenses weren't on the roadmap. The 20-75 sure wasn't. And the 24-120 was supposed to be a 24-105. So it's pretty cool to see that Nikon's got these like sneak attacks or surprise announcements, if you will, and just keeps us guessing. So it's not like we're waiting for stuff, but almost like, oh man, there's more stuff. I know I kind of sound like a Nikon fanboy right now, but man, I think they're just kind of killing it. And I do love a good underdog story. I hope you guys do as well. The Z9's a slayer. They're about to start shipping that. I know they're cutting it close to the end of the year. We'll see how many actually go out. I know NPS members definitely will be getting theirs first. And if you don't know about that, Nikon Pro Services, you are able to take your pre-order, go over to your account and link your order number from whatever retailer, and you will actually get allocated as a priority. So that's kind of how it's working. They're keeping the loyal people geared up as best they can, and you don't need to pay for the tier. You can there's 3 tiers to NPS, but the first one is free, and you can just register. If you own a certain amount of Nikon gear, it's free to register and you can still get the same priority. So don't sleep on that kind of stuff, especially in a world with these shortages, short supply, import issues, stock issues, I guess I should say is a blanket term. But it is what it is. Just wanted to let you guys know, if you are NPS, go do that if you have something sitting on back order or pre-order, okay? All right, let me go over to another lens announcement that I thought was kind of an interesting one. Tokina. Yeah, they put out a 400mm f8 mirror lens. So for those of you who don't know what a mirror lens is, it actually is a mirror in the front element with an opaque disc in the front of it. So it's very odd looking to people who've never seen them before. And what they allow you to do is have what would be a longer focal length and a very compact, lightweight, and very affordable option. This is under $300. But what's crazy about them is you get a certain look to them. You get this like onion ringy looking bouquet. It's actually, there's an image right here. Let me explain it to you. It's a lot easier to do it like this. So it looks kind of like this. It's very odd. People either love these lenses or can't stand them. I've never seen anybody go like, yeah, they're all right. They're fun to have around if you want to do something different. What's cool about this though is it's available in a ton of mounts. There is a T-mount option now. So this was announced in July. They made the RF and Z mount version in April, and now they have this T-mount version. And T-mount is kind of like, for a lack of better term, and you are feel free to skewer me in the comments, but it's almost like this weird universal mount that can work on any SLR almost. They use it a lot for telescopes. So it's just a hard flange that can click into the mount. It's a physical connection. There's no data exchange there. There's no handshake of CPUs or anything like that. It is literally just material on material, making it actually physically mount to the camera. But again, low cost lens, under $300. 400mm, and it's a fixed aperture as well at f8. Don't forget about that part. So if you're into weird looking lenses or want something different or never even experienced a mirror lens before, this might be something to check out. I do think it's really funny that we're seeing mirrored lenses come out for mirrorless cameras. It's like, what? What is happening? Super funny. Let me know down below if you guys have any favored mirrored lenses. I'm always curious what's out there. There's definitely some like no-name brands from all over the world that have entered the market over the decades that the lenses have been produced in this world. So I'm curious what's out there that you guys favor. They all definitely have a unique look to each one of them. And it's also really cool just to see them physically on a camera. It's so odd looking if you haven't before. Let's jump over to Canon. So the EOS R3 was announced and basically released this year. Well, DxO just gave it the best low light performing sensor with a score of 96. Now, they put their sensors through a whole bunch of super nerd level engineering type tests. Some people really take them to heart, some people don't. Some people say that they say it's amazing, but then they put it in the field and it's not what they're seeing, but then that's subjective to the user, I feel. So at least these are controlled tests, and they can actually compare them in controlled, like scientific method to other sensors. So congratulations to all you Canon users. No surprise here. This is a $6,000 US Canon R3. This is not even their flagship. They're not even calling it their flagship. In fact, they were going crazy yelling at us to make sure we message it as not the flagship. But then if you read the fine print of what the messaging behind the R3 is, they go, well, this is a great way for anyone with a 1DX Mark III, their flagship DSLR, to transition to mirrorless. Canon, give me talk to me, use your words. It's crazy how they don't consider this a flagship, but they're putting in the class of the flagships. It is priced and built and designed like a flagship, I'll tell you that. I shot this camera and it's really, really beautiful. And the 24 megapixels that this camera is makes it prime for lower light situations. So this DxO score, not so crazy. And, you know, I think it's pretty great to see that the R3 is getting such high regards. It seems like a really solid press camera, solid sports camera out there. And I think the only critique people have is the resolution, but some people don't even want that resolution. There's a lot of journalists out there that do prefer a 24 megapixel sensor or lower for this exact reason, on top of like file size and other things. I'm not gonna get into that. Let's head over to the Create No Matter What challenge. Daniel Norton got it this time around. I had it the last time with the character portraits. Well, he's doing cinematic holiday portraits. Here's his shot of Marissa, and he has a video right down here for you guys to check out where he gives you some tips on what they're looking for, how to actually do this, what makes it cinematic, color theory. Really great video. Did a way better job than I did. That's the only time you're going to hear that, Daniel. But you have until December 31st to enter, and if you're 18 years or older in the US, you're basically eligible, but read all the rules just to be safe, and you could win a prize package up to $3,000 of Panasonic gear. That's Lumix, the GH5 Mark II. You get a 128 gigabyte pro-grade SD card, a Sigma 16mm f1.4 Manfrotto tripod. You even get Nanlite Pavo tubes, the 2-foot Pavo tube. It's a great prize package, and all you got to do is get your shots up there and hashtag create no matter what. And remember, you're not just throwing your images up there hoping to win this prize package. You're using that hashtag so that we can stay up on what work you guys are doing and what other people who use that hashtag are seeing what other people are doing out there. We're keeping each other inspired, keeping that creative energy up, and that's probably the most valuable thing in this whole game, aside from the gear and the knowledge, is just keeping that energy burning that you want to keep on shooting, creating, and stuff like that. So keep an eye on adorama.com/create no matter what for these challenges. You got nothing to lose, and possibly $3,000 prize packages to gain, so go hit that up. And don't forget to poke around the channel a little bit. Joe McNally just gave another Point Shoe Mysteries detective edition of his series. 5 things you didn't know you could do with the Quest 2 VR headset. I mean, we got Gavin Hoey doing ice cold portraits, basically showing you how to do ice effects. DIY holiday shoot with Lindsay Adler, and lots more. So go ahead and check out the rest of the channel if you're new here. We did hit 1.12 million subscribers. So again, I thank you so much for being part of this channel. I know the rest of the host, thank you so much for bringing this channel to that level. And we're working really, really hard to bring you guys a lot of useful content. So don't forget to like on those videos, share those video rounds, drop the comments on them. And if you're subscribed and are not seeing these videos, hit the bell to get notified when more of them like this come out. And since this is the last one of the year, I would be remiss if I didn't mention to you guys the Discord. I know I mention every week, but seriously, if you're missing out if you're not in there, and it's growing like crazy. And thank you guys who have joined. But check it out. You can share work in here. You can ask questions in here. In fact, someone was talking about the Nikon ZFC. Well, while I was at Adorama, I found the small rig grip and I snapped it onto one and showed everybody what it was about. You know, you can share what you're dealing with as far as issues you're having with your gear, or trying to stay inspired by sharing your work, or talking to our hosts, or there's even gaming channels going on in here. So if you want to talk about what's out there, what you're playing, what you're psyched on, indie titles that you don't think people know about that they should, deals that are going on, stuff like that, go ahead and jump inside the Discord, and you'll be shocked at the wealth of knowledge and just how fun it is to talk to a bunch of people that are similar to whatever you're. Oh, Daniel Norton has a D&D channel in here. If you're a Dungeons & Dragons person and you're not in here, I don't know what to tell you. It's awesome. It's basically from our Twitch channel, which, by the way, tonight, if you're watching this now on a Sunday, tonight is the charity tournament for City Harvest. We're raising money for them by playing Killer Instinct, one of my favorite old school fighting games. I absolutely have full gore. Come on, you know? But I'm just saying, go check out the Twitch channel. Go to twitch.tv/AdoramaXP. We're doing a lot of stuff. We do the gaming news. We have digital illustration, music production. You can shoot live with me in the studio and edit with Ab at night. You can hang out with a bunch of AdoramaXP gaming hosts like Data Dave and Josh Soleil and Panda Global, and these tournaments and all sorts of other things. So don't miss out on that if you need something to plug into while I'm gone. No, I'll be coming back. I'll see you guys January 9th, and I might even be coming back to do more live demos along the year in 2022 right here on Adorama TV. So let me know down below what you guys would like to see as far as the demo goes. And for shout out of the week, I'm going to give it to all of you. Yeah. Just drop in the comments your Instagram, Twitters, whatever, write a line about who you are. Let's get this community tight and ready for 2022. I think you couldn't be better off actually getting a sense of who's out there commenting to each other. I think the live chats are just amazing when they turn into a house party. You guys know everyone here at Adorama when they're in those chat rooms. You guys know each other in the chat rooms. You know what each other shoot system-wise, subject-wise, and it just gets better and better every time you guys engage. So let's get the rest of you in on this. Down below, drop a comment with who you are, where you're at, what you shoot, why you shoot it, and drop maybe your Instagram or Twitter, something like that. Stay away from private URLs. We've had issues in the past with them going to some weird places, and just not going to allow them through, okay? Social links only. And listen, I'm not even going to give you guys a question of the week. This has been a crazy, crazy year. We've had some monster releases. The Sony Alpha 1 kicked it off. The Canon R3 in the middle of the year. The Nikon Z9 is batting cleanup here, and what a cleanup it's batting. Even got mine on order. So I'm super excited for what's going to happen in 2022. We'll probably see all that stuff actually hit people's hands after all this stock issue and stuff like that. But man, the gear is just insane. What we're able to do is just insane. The way we're able to share it is insane. So come be part of it. Don't forget to join us on all the platforms. You can't miss us at Adorama. If you're first time here, don't forget to hit subscribe plus the bell to get notified when more videos like this come out. Whew. All right, that's the end of 2021. You can find me at Last X Witness on all social. Join me on my YouTube channel. Write me on Twitter. Check out my work on Instagram. And I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for being with us all year long. See you next year. Later.